This is a teardown of a Lenovo C460 all-in-one PC. Based on the looks of it, I believe it's a 20-inch touchscreen. And the machine type is 57-RF0333. And this is going to be somewhat similar to some other another Lenovo all-in-one tore apart, but it does have slightly different trim. So the base has some little flappy rubber things that hide the screws to remove the base. There we go. To remove the lower cover, see, maybe I might zoom in a little bit more actually. There we go. I never really figured out where the latches are, but you kind of have to push on in spots. So, like, use your thumbs, push further in, and find that point. Here, don't do that. It'll start sliding out. There we go. So it'll slide out, come out like that. There's the model information for anyone wondering. Now, once you get that off, there would be a hard drive there normally, but this one doesn't have it anymore. This little lever here is the optical drive release. Just a standard laptop SATA optical drive with a custom caddy. And ideally, I think I need number 2 Phillips here. To remove the stand, 4 screws, and the rest of the stand should come out with no issues. There we go. There's the other part of the stand. Obviously, got memory here, and I believe this is DDR3. See if we can rip this off without taking the label with it. Yeah, it looks like PC3L 12800S 4GB DDR3. So I think I just got all the cover screws out. I'm just gonna dump those out here. And slide those out of the way. Once you get all those screws out, oh, that's right. Lift it up, starting on the optical drive side, and it hinges upwards. The cables need to be removed from the little guide. The reason it has to come up this way is because the headphone jack protrudes through the side plastic. So if you try to start it on this side of the all-in-one, you end up running the risk of damaging your ports. And nothing to see in this other than just plastic. Alright, from here you see the inside, digitizer board for the touchscreen, release for the optical drive. This is the LED backlight driver board. Motherboard's under this shielding here. There we go. A little like dust shield for the ports. May stick to the ports a little bit. Oh, didn't notice. This one was one of the USB ports are busted up. So here's your motherboard. Where's the CMOS? Oh, CMOS battery's hidden under the wireless cards. So if you need to replace that, it's going to be somewhat annoying. It's already annoying enough, I suppose, that you have to open this up this far, but I don't know. Just want to get these cables out of the way. I think I'm just going to remove the motherboard here. Obviously, when moving the heat sink, you don't want to bend that heat pipe more than you have to. And I think this is stuck down a little bit. I don't know if it's screws or I think it's screws. This should be all the way loose. It's acting like it's not though. There we go. You can pull on the screws to lift this up without running the risk of damaging it. A lot of thermal paste on there. This is nothing too exciting. It's just a crappy Pentium processor unless it's been upgraded. You presumably could upgrade these if you wanted to. I think this is basically a low-end config. Oh, there's another hidden screw or two I'm missing. This screw here. This corner potentially. Nope. Alright. I keep missing screws. The phone's literally right in my face, so it's hard to see what I'm doing sometimes. Yeah, Pentium G3220T. I think it's equivalent to a 4th gen. So to get the CMOS battery, you need to remove the wireless card. If it's installed, which I suspect in most cases it would be. I don't know if people would be thrilled about paying for an all-in-one that doesn't have built-in wireless. You see the CMOS battery there. Basically, this notch, you want to push the battery inwards towards this side, and it'll get past these two little tabs. Ideally, you don't use something metal, but I'm using something metal because I don't care. Yeah, whoops. Basically, once you push it in far enough, you can flip it up and lift it out, then just put it back in. You start on by putting the battery on this side, and you just push down and it'll lock into place. Here's the fan. It's a nice Delta branded fan, pretty typical. Digitizer board for the touchscreen, Texas Instruments controller chip there, it looks like. Some WinBond boot flash storage for firmware. Some other supplemental chips, probably for power regulation or something, I don't know. It's a pretty heavy board actually, there's a lot of chips, wow. Look at all those. It's a lot denser than it looks like it would be. Slim SATA optical drive cable and SATA hard drive cable. Here's the LED backlight driver board. Not much to see there. Just mostly power regulation stuff. Get the right voltages to drive the panel. Gonna get every screw I can see here. Speakers. Ta-da. Let's see, I think. Just trim piece. kind of tearing this off destructively, so don't do this if you're trying to fix it. Oh, I don't know if I destroyed it too bad. This kind of the back side, top, front, a little bit of everything trim. I don't need to remove that. Front panel cable. Cable for side buttons that I ripped out. Front buttons. Webcam interface cable. Don't know what that was. I think that was something I already talked about. And just landed right in my path. Wireless antennas here I'm ripping off. These are actually metal antennas on this one that are adhesive down. This is just getting recycled, so there's no reason for me to be nice to it. The only thing I don't want to do is break the front glass digitizer because I don't have glass everywhere. Oh! I'll screw the door though at the same time. Set the digitizer out of my way for a second. Here's the front trim. Oh, here's screws going everywhere. There's some screws on the sides there for the back support for the LCD panel. Right now the digitizer is basically all exposed at this point. A little bit of a plastic gasket around it to protect it, give it some distance. But I guess the only other thing to do would be to remove that back support so the person can see what panel this has. Just removing those side screws. It's easier to do it out of view of the camera because of space constraints. It should just lift off once you remove those 4 screws inside. Looks like there might be some tabs holding me in up here. I'm going to remove this backlight cable. There we go. And just let the LVDS cable run on through. But yeah, here's the support tray, I guess you'd call it, for the display itself. Running out of space. LVDS cable. And it's an LG panel. LM215WF4. And you can see all the goodies related to the digitizer all the way around. Little flat flex cables to make the corners there, rather than making a giant wasteful rectangular PCB with a hole cut out in the middle. But yeah, I think that's all there is to see, so hopefully that was interesting, and thanks for watching.